When Queen Elizabeth II visited Nigeria in January 1956, she had a town hall meeting with all the Nigerian first-class traditional rulers in Kaduna, northern Nigeria. During the meeting, all the traditional rulers removed their caps and bowed to show respect for the Queen. But a particular king refused to bow. The British officials on ground tried to convince him, but he refused. They saw his actions as disrespectful to the Queen of England. They threatened to send him out of the meeting and have him dethroned if he refused to remove his cap and bow. He didn't want to deny his lineage the privilege of kingship that he enjoyed from his forefathers. He reluctantly agreed to remove his cap and bowed. As he removed his cap, what happened next was the most chaotic situation the Queen of England ever experienced throughout the time she visited Africa. This is the story of how Atabo refused to bow to Queen Elizabeth and was later betrayed by his people. Before we continue, if you love true, strange and mysterious stories that blow your mind, you are in the right place because that is what you do. So the next time you catch your partner cheating on you and you feel heartbroken, don't feel bad, just click the like button to keep you company. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Atabo was born in 1911 in Ugwalawo village near Kogi State, Nigeria, and he ascended the throne as the Ata of Igala land on the 1st of May 1945. Atabo ruled Igala land for 10 years. During his reign, Igala witnessed economic boom and he expanded native schools. He was quite powerful and his predictions would always come to pass. If anybody disobeyed or disrespected the Ata, he had the power to curse that person. And whenever he cursed, it happened immediately. As an Ata, his position came with several do's and don'ts. For instance, the Ata of Igala isn't allowed to shake hands with women. He can't see a child that is less than 3 months and he is not allowed to see dead bodies. And he can't even remove his cap in public. Unfortunately, some of these do's and don'ts later became issues for him. The Queen of England had visited Nigeria in 1956 and she held a meeting in Kaduna with Nigerian first-class traditional rulers. During the meetings, all the traditional rulers present removed their caps and greeted the Queen as a sign of respect. But Atabo refused to remove his cap. British officials on ground tried to convince him, but Atabo refused. They saw his action as disrespectful to the Queen, so they threatened to send him out of the meeting and have him dethroned if he refused to remove his cap and greet the Queen. Atabo thought for a second. He didn't want to deny his lineage the kinships he enjoyed from his forefathers. He reluctantly removed his cap. What happened next turned the meeting hall into a chaotic environment. Immediately he removed his cap, a swamp of bees came out from it. The hall was filled with bees. Sadly, the bees stung some people and the meeting ended abruptly. After this unfortunate event, security officials arrested and handcuffed Atabo. Funny enough, the handcuffs fell from his hands. The security officials locked him up in a room. While locked up in the room, he told the driver to take the car and drive to Ida. He warned the driver not to look back until he felt a cool breeze in the car. The driver reluctantly obeyed and started driving to Ida from Kaduna. After driving for a while, he felt a cool breeze in the car, and behold, Atabo was inside the car already. Of course, the Queen wasn't happy about what happened and wanted Atabo to be dethroned. Many traditional rulers were not also happy. They frowned at the fact that Atabo's mysterious base stalked some prominent traditional rulers, including those from northern Nigeria. So the Queen was determined to dethrone Atabo from the throne and replace him with someone more obedient. But Ata was too powerful and daring to be dethroned. They needed something against him. They needed to frame him up. Eventually, he was betrayed by his own people. Ordinarily, Igala is very rich in culture and they have different cultural festivals every year. The most prominent of them all is the Osho festivals. Every indigene of Igala look forward to that festival because it marks the beginning of a new farming season. And during the festival, the Ata of Igala will pray to God for sufficient rainfall, bountiful harvest, and success in hunting. The festival is usually celebrated in the bush and the venue is Erioso. While in the venue, the Ata must hunt a buffalo or any other strong animal. After hunting a strong animal, Atabo sacrificed a fowl to the ancestor. This was a loophole his enemies among the Igala people used to frame him. They wrote a petition against Atabo that he was using human blood for sacrifice. But this was not true. The petition was written to the Queen of England. The enemies used the animal blood during the festival as evidence against him. The petition was written by two Igala people, and since the Queen and some other leaders were seriously looking for how to dethrone Atabo, they quickly passed a judgment that he must be dethroned. That was even before the investigation was completed, and they immediately banned all cultural festivals in Igala land, including the Osho festival. This ban lasted for over 63 years before His Excellency Governor Yaya Bello unbanned them. When the issue was lingering, Atabo already knew how the British operated. He knew the Queen would not rest until he had been dethroned. Atabo was a reverend king, and some people believed he was a supernatural being. But he wanted to avoid chaos in his land and didn't want innocent Igala people to be victims of whatever was going on. Unfortunately, before the result of the blood sample taken from the Osho festival venue for analysis at the University of Ibadan returned, Atabo, the fearless and revered king of Igala land, already took his own life. And later on, the result proved that Atabo was innocent and the blood was indeed that of an animal. But before Atabo died, he knew people from Igala wrongfully petitioned him, perhaps because they were high in his throne, so he made a pronouncement before he died. He said those who wrote the petition against him would have a terrible and disastrous end, and that was what later happened to them. What do you think of Atabo of Igala's action? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment below. Thank you.